Welcome to UN Rock, where we are taking the UN to the community and the community to the UN. This is Jeanette Grant Anderson, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., and we are going to be here until noon. UN Rocks is a program centered on promoting the UN agenda for sustainable development and providing education and information on United Nations programs and activities to peace ambassadors. You love, you love, and we are ready to rock and roll.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to UN Rocks. We are ready to rock and roll today. We're excited about our episode. This is our third edition of UN Rocks, and this is a presentation of the WOLMI-ICC Department of Northeastern Affairs and WOLMI TV. We air every Saturday, every first Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. I'd like to begin today by introducing my co-host today, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Esther Okoye, and she's going to come and bring us a brief welcome.
Hello, good morning. Welcome our viewers. Thank you for joining us today once more. You're welcome, and we're going on for a good treat today. Thank you.
Very well. And I just want to say thank you for joining us today, Dr. Esther. And unfortunately, we are missing our other co-host, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Donette Anderson Grant, but she will be with us for our next episode, but we bless her tonight. Well, today we are talking all about Geneva, Switzerland, and we're talking about the diplomatic symposium and forum that's taking place in June. And there's a delegation of us that will be traveling there on June 24th. So we want to get into what all that is about. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Geneva and just what exactly takes place there as it relates to the UN. Amen. Geneva is the capital of peace. It has been traditionally a space for diplomacy and international relations. The city hosts one of the largest hubs of the UN system and its busiest center for meetings and conferences. Every day, decisions are made which have an impact on the lives of people across the world. Around 8,000 meetings took place at the Palais des Nations, or the Palace of Nations, in 2022. And there were topics ranging from disarmament to human rights to health or international trade. Now, historically, International Geneva had grown not only through the presence of the League of Nations, which is widely considered to be the predecessor of the United Nations, but also thanks to the Red Cross and the other non-governmental organizations devised by local philanthropies and to organizations such as the International Telecommunications Union, which was founded in Bern in 1865 and then moved to Geneva in 1948. The ITU was one of the first entities established to facilitate cross-border technical cooperation and is now a specialized agency under the umbrella of the UN. Today, Geneva houses around 40 international organizations and 180 permanent missions and more than 400 NGOs. Large parts of the UN family call Geneva their home. In addition to the UN entities headquarters here, most UN funds, programs, and agencies maintain a regional office or liaison office in Switzerland. And together, they bring the UN Geneva to life. At the core of the UN Geneva is the United Nations office at Geneva, located inside the Palace of Nations, a few kilometers north of the city center. The UN of Geneva is part of the UN Secretariat, and it is tasked to carry out all necessary steps to enable a dialogue between member states. maintaining conference facilities, and offering conference services such as interpretation, technical support, compiling and distributing documents, etc. And also includes securing meeting rooms and meeting venues and making the discussions and decisions available for the world to witness. This is absolutely the mecca of decision making is in Geneva. And we all can't wait to go, but we're going to get into giving you all the juicy details. Finally, the office in Geneva is one of the only 3 major administrative offices outside of New York, together with Nairobi and Vienna. Now, today we have a very special guest who we're going to be talking to today. She's going to be sharing with us a number of insights about Geneva and talking about the upcoming symposium and forum. But first, we're going to have a brief break. We're going to see a video clip, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to her. So stay tuned.
The Place des Nations, known as the Palace of Nations, is the largest and the most active center for conference diplomacy in the world. It's a place where nation meets nation. It is the second largest United Nations office after the United Nations headquarters in New York. Here at the Assembly Hall, President Xi Jinping is going to deliver a keynote speech. China's contribution to the United Nations has grown considerably. China now is UN's 3rd largest contributor to the regular budget and the 2nd contributor to the peacekeeping budget. To help nation better speak peace with nation, the palace has 34 conference rooms, and the Assembly Hall is the largest one, able to accommodate over 2,000 people, discussing the most pressing issues around the globe. Now joins me here is Mr. Michael Mueller, Director General of the United Nations Office at Geneva. Great to have you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
To me, it's first of all a big honor that the President of China is coming to visit us here, but it's also a big opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, we're back, and I'm excited to share with you our special guest today, the Honorable Her Excellency Dr. Sharon Baquedo-Phinn. Dr. Sharon is a global thinker. She works with marketing and business development. She's an innovative problem solver with the ability to develop visionary solutions to intricate business and marketing encounters. She is a true leader that encourages confidence and motivation in the prospects and the candidates and the students that she serves, both in higher advancement in their education. She oversees and manages over 35 countries of matriculated students. I mean, this lady is awesome. Amen. She is an international bilingual lecturer in Spanish and English, and she is experienced in Zoom management and other technological tools. She is indeed our go-to person. And most especially, she is the Executive Vice President of WOLMI, which is Word of Life Ministries International, and the International Consultancy Cabinet. She is the President and CEO of SICA International University and Seminary. And I am so delighted to invite her to be with us today. Welcome, Your Excellency, Dr. Phinn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Angela Gracie, and to our co-host and all the peace ambassadors. Good morning and welcome, and thank you for this honorable invitation. Definitely, UN Rocks Radio is in the house. Yes.
That's right.
To God be the glory. But thank you for the invitation. Appreciate
it. Yes. Welcome. So we've been talking about this for days, Dr. Sharon, about the trip to Geneva, and so we've come up with where we want to get some questions out there and get some questions answered, because a lot of people are buzzing about it, but they don't have a lot of details, you know. So I want to begin, if you don't mind, with a couple questions. And the first one is, we are aware that WOLMI-ICC was selected to attend the Ambassador Diplomatic Symposium and Forum to Geneva. What's the motivation behind this, and why Geneva, especially since New York is the headquarters? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that question. Well, to answer your question, the motivation behind our trip to Geneva is primarily for training and development and definitely field trip. We regard Geneva as the diplomatic capital of the world. And secondly, why Geneva? Because for most of our peace ambassadors, it's much easier for them to obtain a visa to Geneva than coming to America.
Oh, very well. Okay, so it had more to do with the ability, the flexibility of moving in and out of country.
That's
So that
correct.
makes sense. Thank you so much. So then for the past 3 years, WAMI, under our Acts 915 mandate, which is that we are to take the message of the gospel to the world and to the nations, and we're committed to the advancement of the UN agenda by appointing peace ambassadors under the umbrella of the ICC, which is our International Consultancy Cabinet. So as the executive vice president of WOLMI, what's the rationale behind this, and how do we associate that with the trip to Geneva, with the purpose of the trip to Geneva?
Well, the Geneva Symposium, let's go there, and Forum is a major part of what we do, or a major part of the method of training and developing our peace ambassadors. Giving them, you could say, the physical opportunity to interact with people of diverse cultures and to appreciate the differences and the variety that constitute global citizenship. In other words, we know we're not all the same, but we learn to appreciate the cultures of different environments that are different from ours.
Very well. Yes, I could see that, because one of the things I was thinking about, as you were saying, appreciating the different cultures, those are the kind of things that prepare us as part of our training. I remember I was a member of a church that represented over 66 nations, and I got to learn so much about different people and, you know, different cultures and the way they speak and the way they dress and everything. And I think that it really set a background or set a foundation for me, even as an ambassador now in this role. So, so that is, yes, that is very, very key. Thank you. Okay, we just have one final question before we move on to our next segment. What is the nature of this event? Like, what will the attendees learn, and how will this training equip them to serve WOLMI-ICC?
Well, the nature of this event we're going to have in Geneva is for our attendees to learn about the UN system, humanitarian laws, and to have also the opportunity to network with other global ambassadors.
Okay, fantastic. Is it recommended that all ambassadors attend this as part of their ambassadorial training, or?
Yes, it is not something that is mandatory or recommended. However, we do ask that everyone takes the opportunity to at least this one in a lifetime experience, to experience this in person, physically. So if not in this trip to Geneva, we'll have other upcoming trips, and more information will follow.
Fantastic. Well, I just want you to know, Ambassador Dr. Sharon, that we here at UN Rocks have made a pact that the next time you cross the borders, we're going with you, okay?
Absolutely. That's great.
We can't wait. We can't wait. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for giving us that insight on the symposium and the forum to Geneva. I'm sure it's going to be life-changing, and the ambassadors are going to learn so much. So we're going to take a little brief break, and when we come back, my co-host, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Esther Okoye, will take us through the second segment of our show, and we are continuing our conversation with Her Excellency Dr. Sharon.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to UN Rocks. Thank you for joining us again today. We have a special guest, Your Excellency, Dr. Sharon is with us. My co-host has introduced her and read her bio. I'm sure you're starting to warm up to her. She's expertise in what she does, and she's really giving us insight on what Geneva is all about. And welcome again, Your Excellency, Dr. Sharon, thank you for being with us again today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a little insight on some of the history. We're continuing with the Geneva information. Geneva hosts a row of peace talks between conflicting parties, often led by senior UN officials appointed by Secretary General. The special envoy for Syria, for example, operates from Geneva tirelessly, bringing all parties of the Syrian civil war to the round table and trying to negotiate a peace agreement. Another important part of the UN system are its 5 economic commissions spread across all parts of the world and serving as think tanks for the socio-economic development of people and societies within their respective regions. The Economic Commission for Europe, ECE, is located at the Palais des Nations in Geneva. Additionally, several research institutes inside the UN system dedicated, for example, to justice, social development, or disarmament are based on the Swiss city. These are some information that we gathered, and I hope you're listening. So now to Your Excellency, Dr. Sharon, I have a few questions to follow up with what my co-hosts have asked you. I'm learning a lot. I have my book and I have my pen ready so that I will take information for all of us, really.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. One of the questions I wanted to ask is if you can enumerate on some of the activities involved in this weekend at Geneva. And
Okay.
right, and what WOLMI is anticipated outcome from this program?
Well, thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Esther Koye, for that question. And again, the opportunity to bring enlightenment and clarity concerning our coming Geneva Symposium and Forum. So some of the activities included for the weekend are we're going to have well-versed and dynamic facilitators who's going to bring us different topics in regards to the UN humanitarian laws and even some hands-on activities. In addition to that, we will have a couple of tours. We're going to visit the International Red Cross Museum along with some boat tours. And in regard to the UN headquarters, unfortunately, we didn't get the space to book or tour, but we're looking, the committee along with myself, we're looking to see if at least we can take the group to have an outside photo or picture in front of the UN building. So, and then we're going to have, in conclusion, a time of dinner and fellowship with all our peace ambassadors and their network and get even more acquainted with each other. Now, what WOLMI is anticipating, the outcome is that our peace ambassadors and our guests will leave the symposium motivated to carry out their duties with greater understanding, motivation, and inspiration into their assigned mission.
Thank you so much. That sounds so much like a dynamic event.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go next year. And I truly appreciate the idea that you have created activities for everybody, all the ambassadors that will be attending. And you did mention at your last question from my co-host that it's not only just gaining experience from this forum and symposium, but it's also gaining world views because it involves all world cultures.
Indeed. Indeed.
So it's a step to building world ambassadors. And that is
Absolutely.
truly excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I'm gonna go to the next question. I will ask, would you kindly tell us how the outcome will contribute to the advancement and mission of WOLMI alongside UN agenda?
Well, in regards to the outcome, in regards to the UN agenda, one of the United Nations primary missions is to promote global peace. So the
Yes.
fact that we WOLMI are training peace negotiators, peace ambassadors, we are, you could say, primarily fulfilling part of the UN mission in that context. So that is how we fulfill in part one of the UN primary missions in terms of promoting global peace through our training.
Thank you so much. You know, in one of our readings, it does say that Geneva is the World Peace Center.
Yes.
You know, so that really ties everything together as having it there in Geneva. I also note that you said that a lot of ambassadors from different nations find it easy to travel through Geneva because the visa issuance is much easier than visiting through New York.
That's
So it makes it very palatable, especially from people from outside countries, like, you know,
Yes.
to be able to attend. It makes it easier for them to attend. So less challenges for them to attend.
absolutely.
My next question is, how often does WOLMI-ICC intend to organize these trips? And what advice would you give to an ambassador who's attending for the first time?
Well, WOLMI-ICC intends to have these symposiums and forums annually. However, it doesn't mean it's going to be necessarily at the same location. We do have, say, for example, another upcoming trip to Vienna this year in October. We don't have all the information yet. We're working on a different committee who will, within a couple of weeks, provide us some more details concerning that.
Yes.
And what advice I would give to a peace ambassador attending for the first time? Well, advice I would give is, besides expect great things and come expectant, wear comfortable clothing, bring something light, wear comfortable shoes. For a forum, if you're attending a forum, you know, we ask that all our peace ambassadors dress, you could say business casual. Bring a light jacket during the night if it gets cold. And, you know, one of the things we suggest, you know, bring a light umbrella, stuff like that. Now, we did send detailed information to all our peace ambassadors that are attending. You know, in some of our tours, some are required to wear masks. You know, so these are one of the little things we ask. Everybody make sure they download their Google Maps, Google Apps, even change up currencies, you know, and get a little acquainted with the culture of Switzerland before attending.
Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome traveling list.
Yes.
I took my notes and it won't hurt to add a bottle of water.
Absolutely.
So awesome. I hope, guests, that you are taking notes. Comfortable clothes is a key. Umbrella when it rains, and comfortable shoes. You don't want anywhere hurting. And thank you so much. You've given us such an insight, Your Excellency, Dr. Sharon. I wish you can put me in your bag or somewhere so that
Next time. Next time.
Thank you so much. It's
You're
so
welcome.
detailed, you know, it's so much information. And thank you, our viewers. We're gonna be right back. And you are listening to UN Rocks. Don't move.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, welcome back again. Thank you for listening. You are listening at the UN Rocks. You are listening at the UN Rocks. So I
Yes,
hope
we
you're
are
sitting.
delighted.
We are delighted to have you, and we are delighted to have our guest who's very talented and has so much information to give. I hope you've been listening. So I'm gonna go to the purpose. Why do we have UN ROCs? Why UN ROCs? So World of Life Ministry International Inc. is an NGO with special consultative status at the United Nations, whose initiative, the International Consulting Cabinet, is to support and promote the United Nations agenda under the mandate of AS 915. And if you don't know what that means, please look it up as 915. Go into the nations and spread the word.
Amen.
And UN ROC is an initiative of WOLMI-ICC, Department of Northeastern Affairs, and it's a program centered on promoting the United Nations 2030 agenda for sustainable development and providing education and information on United Nations programs and activities on the community. We want to take UN to the community and bring the community to the United Nations. We will accomplish this through sharing, open discussions, and interviews, highlighting United Nations events and delegates' experiences. And that's exactly what we're doing today. And so we're going to be back give us another minute, and we're coming back for our closing of the program. Hope you enjoyed our program today. When we come back, we have an interaction moment, so please stay tuned. Thank you. Hello, we are back. Welcome back to our final segment. I'm gonna call on my co-host, Ambassador Dr. Angela Gracie. What's your takeaway today?
My takeaway is Her Excellency Dr. Sharon has just whet my appetite immensely. I just can't wait to go. I was just thinking, it took me a minute to just kind of connect the dots, but what came back to my mind was, have you ever heard the phrase when people say that like a certain area of a neighborhood is Switzerland? Like people refer to like a certain area of Switzerland, meaning that area is neutral. That's the area where there's no conflict. When you're in Switzerland, everything, this is peace, this is neutral territory, and there's no conflict. And so I just put the two and two together, because that's what Geneva, Switzerland represents in the context of the United Nations. It is the place of peace, it's the place of neutrality, it's the place where all minds can come together. And I thought my first day at the UN was something, but I think that when we go to Geneva, it's going to be really something else. Just to take in all that takes place there. I mean, nations all over the world come there to make, decisions about our lives. Most people don't even realize all this is going on, like in their everyday lives. They may not even realize that, these are important things that are taking place at this level. And so I really count it a privilege that God has walked me into this particular arena. And I'm looking forward to, just learning and getting into it, even more than just the obvious travel there, but to really like soak that in.
Yeah. I like when Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Sharon talked about it's a training ground for all cultures.
Yes.
And United Nations and the Geneva is called the Palace of all nations. Palace of Nations. And so I want to ask Your Excellency Dr. Sharon, when you talk about all the experiences, what's your feeling towards all of this?
Well, honestly, this would be my first time attending Geneva, Switzerland. but to be go to a country that is called the Palace of All Nations, you know, that says a lot about the neutrality of the country
Yes.
itself and what it stands for, and what probably the founding fathers or those who established the nation of Switzerland to stand for as a country of neutrality, as a country of diplomacy, where every country in the world can come and discuss, you know, things of affairs of their country and things that many people are not aware of. So this will be definitely a great experience for not only myself, but I'm sure for many of our peace ambassadors. And some are bringing their family members, some are bringing delegations, some are bringing friends. So this also will be a huge experience for them also. So we have approximately a delegation between 75 to 80 persons attending. So this is a huge delegation. So definitely we do give God for the opportunity for this. And I want to thank in advance our committee who have worked diligently to get all the information, put it all together. So in return, we can inform those who have definitely registered and signed up with us. So it's a lot of work, but a lot of behind the scenes work. So I just want to give a shout out to the committee for your great job, for your diligence, and we know that this will be a great success.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, community.
Yes, thank you.
If you all are
Thank you.
listening, we are acknowledging you. Thank you so much
Yes.
for being in our midst. Your Excellency, Dr. Sharon. You've made my day. I have my heart is skipping like I found a new boyfriend now. I'm gonna be I have to start. I have my list. I'm gonna start packing my things before next year comes around. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're
And thank
welcome.
you for being in our midst. It's like a breath of fresh air. Thank you for your support for UN Rocks. We truly appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
invitation. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you so much. And we appreciate you, listeners of our program. We acknowledge you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
UN Rocks.
UN Rocks.
UN Rocks.
Rocks.
Yes, UN Rocks. Thank you so much, everyone.